Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Dr. T from Harvard Eye, and we're going to talk a little bit about how you can possibly not have the need for eye drops. Well, Dr. T, thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's safe and healthy out there.
Great. Yeah, good notions, because we certainly want to make sure everybody is healthy. So I know you guys are opened, you're seeing patients now, and we've talked to a couple of other doctors there where everything has gone through, the precautionary measures. So what you want to talk to us today about is glaucoma innovations where you may not have to have eye drops. Tell me a little bit about this before we kind of jump really into it.
Well, glaucoma is one of those silent thieves of vision where people lose their vision over time and they don't even notice it until it's too late. The only trouble has been our treatment options. They really haven't been great. Typically, what we do is either eye drops at the beginning or big surgery at the end. Both of them have their pluses and minuses. For most patients, we always try to manage them with conservative therapy with the eye drops, but that requires them to use medicines multiple times a day. There's a cost to it. They have to remember putting it in. And more importantly, they get side effects from the medications. So we're constantly working on new ways to deliver the medications that won't require eye drop therapy. And we think we've come across one that's just at the beginning stages, but that's commercially available for us to use in our patients. So it's truly an exciting time.
Wow, every time I talk to you guys, there's always something new. It's absolutely amazing and exciting, like you said. So tell me what this is now.
So typically the way we treat glaucoma patients is with some eye drop therapy. This is a little bit different. Instead of giving the medications through an eye drop, it's actually a small little pellet of medication that gets administered or injected into the eye and gradually dissolves over time. And I know the first response would be oh no, sounds like an injection, sounds like it's a little bit more than what I would like. I'd like to let you know of the patients that I've put it in so far up to this point, the typical response has been after we've given the administration for the first eye, they quickly say, can we just get the other eye done? Unlike typical injections that you think about, like pinching one of the shoulder here that typically hurts, the tissue itself is right out there for us to address. What that means is when we put the numbing medications on, including the numbing eye drops, they work relatively quickly within the first 5 to 10 seconds, and your eye's completely numbed up for the actual injection process itself. Most people don't even realize that we've actually got it done. And that's the beauty of what we got going on here. It's a great way of delivering the medications that's relatively painless and last within the eye without the patient having to remember or put medications in. What that photo there describes is, how does glaucoma actually work? So the best way to think about it is I get asked this question a lot. What exactly is going on with my eye doctor? And when you think about glaucoma, I want you to think about us being in your kitchen at the faucet and the drain of your house. The faucet's on because you're creating the fluid within your eye, and you need to create that fluid. That's what actually provides the nourishment for inside of your cell. It's just the drainage system over time is getting clogged, just like the drain at your house. The more you use it, the more it gets clogged up. You're not doing anything wrong. As I like to say, it's maturity. It's a process of life that we have. So what we're trying to do in glaucoma here is figure out how do we make this equilibrium a little bit better. You want to make the fluid, but then the fluid needs to exit. And depending on which type of therapy that we're using, it addresses different parts of what's going on here. Some of the medications that we have in hand actually make less fluid coming out of the faucet. Some of the other medications help the actual drain itself where it's actually getting clogged. And some of the other medications, inside of your sink, you have the natural drain, but you have that little emergency hole that's there too. It helps that a little emergency hole get bigger too. So depending on which medication we're using, there's different ways that it works. We call it mechanisms of actions, or MAIs. So what they do is they address different sections of the eye. So in glaucoma, you have too much fluid in the eye. We have to let that escape a couple of different ways. The problem here is when the fluid builds up in the eye, it causes damage to other structures, including the very fragile cable line at the back part of the eye. And that's what the optic nerve is. The optic nerve is what's important to relay the information from your eyes to your brain. Over time, as that pressure or as that fluid builds up in the eye, it causes damage to that cable line, and subsequently you lose more and more of your vision.
Okay, so after they've had the glaucoma surgery, then it's potentially they have issues with this dry eye situation, and you usually would provide drops. So now you can inject the eye. Tell me what that little pellet is made up of.
Yeah, it's actually active ingredient in a similar form that what you would get with the actual medication that you use as an eye drop, but it's a small little concentrated form, almost like a cylinder that goes into the eye. It's small. You won't be able to see it if you look straight ahead, and it just gradually dissolves here over time.
How long does it last?
So the effects can vary depending on patient to patient, but we like to say somewhere up to about 2 years or so it can last.
Okay, that's actually a long time. I was thinking you're going to say like 2 months.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. There's a lot of this varies certainly patient to patient, but there have been studies that have been shown that it can last for various people up to about 2 years or so. That's how long it's been looked at.
That's great. And so that does that really eliminate them to need eye drops at all or just use them less?
It's going to depend on the patients. So a majority of the patients only require what we call one modality or one amount of treatment. For those patients, we can eliminate drops. For the other 50% of patients, they're going to need more than one type of medication. The goal is going to be to reduce the medications for that. But what's important to note here is when we're talking about glaucoma care, the first medication that we give, it's an easier one to use when it's an eye drop. It's just a once a day medication. The problem is when you're adding the second and third medication, they're not once a day, they're 2 to 3 times a day. So then you're going from needing medication once a day at nighttime to putting in eye drops 3 to 4 to 6 times a day. It makes a really big difference. So if we can just eliminate the backside of that medication regimen and cut it down to just a once a day medicine, it makes a substantial difference for the patient. And at the end of the day, we always talk about what's the eye pressure. We're always perseverating on this one number. But really the takeaway message is what's the patient's quality of life? We do everything to improve the patient's quality of life at the end of the day. Mrs. Smith, my imaginary patient, doesn't care so much what the pressure is. She just wants to be able to do her activities. She wants to be able to watch TV, drive, work with her grandkids, do her knitting, go out and play golf, whatever it is that she likes to do. And that's truly our goal. We want to be able to provide the best care, but also interfere with the patient's life the least. So the way I'd like to think about it is we want to be the best referees of a sporting event. We want to get our job done and not be noticed at all.
That's awesome. And can you tell me, does insurance cover this?
So typically at this point, it's a Medicare covered injection that we have. There are some other providers that they're looking into providing coverage. There's a couple of websites that we have access to. So if by chance you don't have Medicare, we can go ahead and plug it in to see if that's something that would be a covered service. Just like anything else that's new, there's always a process to getting things approved and done. And this is part of the building up of it.
Oh, that's great. So now if somebody had questions about it on your website, do you have a way for them to get information?
Yeah, there's on our website, we have information, but they can also feel free to call in and we can provide them with that information too. And certainly they're always welcome to come in for a consultation.
That's great. Well, thank you so much. I'm really happy to hear about this new thing. And you're right. Everybody does want to stay active and they don't want to stop to have to put eye drops in. So I think that's great. Thank you for your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on and hope you guys are all doing well.
Good. Thank you. And we'll be right back after this.